The Incessant Undying. Hello, I say to you, as if you were awake, and you nod and smile and eat your cake, and your reply, wry, so dry your wit. Oh, my reply, you've left me, you fell back to sleep, and inside I cry, and I am alone, left to talk to a statue of a once you, and now who my words pass right through. All that you show is your memory bank, a blank space brimming out a fair face. You say you understand how to lend a hand, but you land in the muck and expect me to follow, so hollow. So on top of your game, no shame, but lame is what I feel when you pass my way, looking in the aisles of your eyes to find a semblance of the miles of endless beach we walked. Oh, my reply, you've left me. You've fallen back to sleep, and inside I cry. In my mind, you go to sleep to avoid your life. Your strife was too much for you. He lasted all he could. Why, oh why, do I cling to this rotting flower? Because I have seen its bloom. Why, oh why, do I sting from his sordid glower? Because I know he's in his womb. Why, oh why, do I continue to die and leave it all behind except him? Because when you fly, when you die, when you lie on the grass, I feel you, I know you, I am you. When you enrage me, when you engage me, when you try to upstage me, I look at you from my cloud and cry, I am in the sky, I never came down. The view is so lovely in here, please join me forever. Leave it behind, your eggshells and rinds, your means and your kinds to decompose. Leave them to their repose, their ebbs and flows to the interpretations of others. The view is so lovely out here. Please join me forever. Come where the good and the bad are just plays of light and shadow that we enjoy as we are not of them. To rise like the sun and the moon and set like the dark age of man. Oh, I see. You sleep. You wonder why you no longer light my fire. You wonder why I don't take you higher. You ponder why I've changed, why I seem so rearranged. I have raised my shields for the man who approaches love, holding the full knowledge of the daggers and arrows that will be sent his way from the rotting life that fears death, knowing that love's ties have been cut from the depths of soul, where it once and will again root and thrive in nourishing indifference. But for now it is tossed around by the superficial and dangerous waves of a life lived in knowledge, yet ignorance of its truth. Like looking into the sullen, confused, and self-betrayed eyes of a carcass that clings with all its being to a world that could never be controlled, never conquered, nor even swayed. The view is so lovely down here. Please join me forever. Leave it behind, your eggshells and rinds, your losses and your fines, to decompose. Leave them to their repose, their ebbs and flows to the interpretations of others. The view is so lovely up here. Please join me forever. Come where the good and the bad are just plays of light and shadow that we enjoy as we are not of them. To rise like the sun and the moon, and to set like the dark age of man. If you choose to live loose, all I can do is bruise. And though you're used to controlling the uncontrollable, I am inconsolable, and so I drift away down this river of now. I watch you on the shore wrestling with yourself. What does he see? I think to myself. Does he think he's wrestling with his debt? Does he think he's conquering the boy in his bed? Does he think he's losing to this social game? Does he feel as though he's found his fame? All I see is a boy rolling on the shore till there is no more. Then he cries, and the skies dry, leaving a desert in their place, a place of grace and boundless joy for this newly emptied boy, who drank from the fountain of life too full because it's so easy, who didn't know the breadth to which he was expanding till disillusion with her fist of glory smacked him down and ended his story. The fool, struck down from his hill, spills down to the river, falling in and calling out. He is heard by me, and I swim to him, tail pumping. His body slumping, I pull him to my world. Wet and dry, hot and cool, a balanced refuge for this beautiful fool. I show him around. He's found a place he can be free. So familiar, I say to myself, and off the shelf of the universal pantry billows the remembrances of this cyclical fantasy. The boy, now filled with joy, returns to his hill, to shout at himself, to mock himself, to chide himself, to shock himself, to fret and long, to laugh and cry, on behalf of some guy who lives within fire, who's taking him higher and higher and higher until the desire burns him on his pyre, burning holes in the sky, out from which comes pain, like rain, a stain on his illusory heart. Now, apart, he looks for the new thing to struggle with, all the while never leaving his hill. Does he hope for the day it will go away? And I float on the river, passing him over and over on my journeys through space, this place, this face on this hill, still crying, contorted in pain, waiting in vain for Mother Disillusion's rain to wash him back to the sea, back to me, strip his illusions so he will come back to me. Good night, I whisper to you. You are asleep, and I creep about your hill, planting seeds of change and love and peace to usher in your mind's release. I planted that rose bush that bloomed last spring, that helped you rise and shine and sing the praises of a day to which you would get off without a hitch, and a night free of fright. I planted the poetry that grew in your mind, and made the works of joy that I enjoy when you speak and swim in the river with me. I sowed the ancestry that came to be in the fall, which perhaps was misread by all, and instead was used by illusion to further the confusion. I simply meant to remind a boy so kind that illusion is his tool and not his mind, and to remember that from all the things found in the past, of things that die and things that last, have brought us to this time and place, so we must handle life with grace, for though the past has brought us here, the future's up to us, my dear. I planted sweet peas to remind you the sweet sensations delicately dancing in your center when releasing excess illusion, back to the solution, back to the source, back to the river, for the river knows no limits. And beneath your head, when you lay to rest, I planted the one I think the best, or at least, that is to say, the one I feel will save the day. A little plant, so seeming insignificance, so beaming in magnificence. Time. With the intent to show that as it grows, the life you lead will seem to flow more simply and with understanding that your every wish lies in your commanding, and more towards the shore of the river where I dwell, that you will find release from any living hell, and be free of the delusions, and want something true, not to sit above others, but to acknowledge what haunts you. Let it exist, for it always will. It was there yesterday, and is there still. Everything is with you at this very moment. It is what you focus on that becomes prominent. The view is so lovely over here. Please join me forever. Leave it behind, your eggshells and rinds, your words and your minds, to decompose. Leave them to their repose, their ebbs and flows to the interpretations of others. The view is so lovely over here. Please join me forever. Come where the good and bad are just plays of light and shadow that we enjoy as we are not of them, to rise like the sun and the moon, and to set like the dark age of man. You are the fool on the hill, and I am the fool in the river. I cannot change you, as you cannot change me. So we exist, me knowing my world, and you knowing yours. You are the closest thing to my world that isn't me, but you are gone, and yet you are here. So I will continue to look in your eyes and wait for the next time we are as one. You may never hear this, but it is a testament to how I will always watch you on your hill and long to experience the thrill that is your true self.